Stuck in my past, about to relapse. I keep running back to you.
E.T.'s adorable.
The only horror aspect I see of that entire thing would be like the last 30 minutes when E.T. gets sick and then the whole government swoops in like fucking wasps. That, to me as a kid, was terrifying, but past that, the entire movie was cute.
So we can count The Mist, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's extra dimensional, which would be extraterrestrial.
Into this world.
Yep.
So The Mist is a
we
good
can count it.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we can count it. Because he is from outer space. He just kind of nested on Earth like, what's up, bro?
Well,
I want to talk.
States he's an alien.
I would like to bring up, I have to mention it, because if I don't mention it, it's one of my favorites. Event Horizon.
I think that
which
was in
I
here.
think is what kind of spawned the whole Dead Space.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Event Horizon has got to be one of my favorite. That's the first time they brought up bending space and using a wormhole and describing it in film, like they did in Interstellar.
Right.
Yes, I'm using my hands.
No, I was trying to do the whole bending space, but then my fingers got caught up. That's happens when you bend space, kids. Like you have no fingers.
But the whole idea behind Event Horizon was, okay, you're bending space and folding it in half and then punching a hole through it. What about that area between the wormholes?
Mm-hmm.
The opening and the close. So their idea was, what are you experiencing when you go through that wormhole? You don't just go through it and end up somewhere else. There has to be a dead space between, right?
Yeah.
And what they came up with is that dead space between is basically hell.
Oh. Fun.
If you've never seen Event Horizon and you like horror films, you have to see Event Horizon.
Neat.
It's got the main character from Jurassic Park in it, not Jeff Goldblum, but the other one.
There are a few of them. Like I recently discovered one of them played Hugo Strange in Gotham.
Yep.
Oh, that's B.D. Wong.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Doctor.
He is in Event Horizon, but the main character is he's the head archaeologist from Jurassic Park. I can't remember his name.
All we know is he's an asshole.
Yes.
Yeah, Alan Grant. I remember that movie. I've seen it. It is.
Yes.
It was a fucked up psychological.
I love that fucking movie, just because of the way they do it is so good. They get graphic, but they don't get graphic.
Is that the one at the end where his face is all?
Yeah, he turns into the demon, and he's like battling within himself whether to destroy the gate, which is this giant golden sphere in the middle of the spaceship. It's just the drive that opens up the wormhole. And through that sphere is where these demons come through and possess, and like he's remembering his wife's suicide and things like that. And it gets really psychological and horrific. And at the very end, he turns into this like demon god. I don't know what it is, but he's still inside. And I haven't seen it in so long. And he has to struggle with the decision: does he go back? Like, does he send the ship back into hell and leave the demons there, or does he destroy it, or does he go to Earth where the demons want to be, right? And
being Doom is in God of Sheep here, it's just trying to make sure you die in a dream because you cheat on your girlfriend with someone that you set him up with. I'm still a little salty about Catherine.
If you haven't seen it, I recommend seeing it. That is one of my favorite space
I just looked up the cast, and Jason Isaacs is in it, and he's like one of my favorite actors of all time, so I definitely need to.
If you like horror films, it is definitely, and it's described as a horror film. It's more of a psychological thriller. Phoenix said.
Yeah. But it does carry the whole elements about what makes a horror film, which
it has it does have terror and graphic violence, but they do it in such a way that it looks. Or it feels graphic, but it's not so graphic. You know, it's not like you're seeing people's heads get cut off or anything like that. It's really good. Another one. Has anyone seen Moon?
No.
Stars Sam Rockwell And it is more of a psychological thriller than it is a horror film. But I recommend seeing that one as well. It's called Moon. Stars Sam Rockwell.
I still recommend Life Force.
I'm going to have to look that one up and watch it too, V. I'm going to have to do that.
I gotta rewatch it because last time I remembered it was because of my reviewer sensei of Brandon Tenold, him and his snarky Canadian self.
And if you look up Moon, I don't know if the description is going to be actually accurate to what you watch.
As Sally is on the search for certain information.
I love Sam Rockwell. He's one of my favorite actors. He's funny as hell.
Moon film.
Moon!
Film.
The moon will spring out in June.
How many of you have seen the Dead Space? It was like an animated series of it.
I saw there was a movie. Yeah, Dead Space is quite graphic.
It's very graphic, but I love it.
Perfect though, like it, albeit it was cartoon, but it was still so grungy and gross. It fit both games perfectly, and I was like, oh, this is lovely. Very
Especially
yummy.
since Isaac's whole story ends up going from shit to shit in a handbasket to shit in the dumpster, being consumed by a shit pile.
Oh wait, he's throughout the entire games. I didn't think he'd make it past the first. I don't think that's the first one.
I'm not gonna spoil the rest for you. I'm just gonna be like, it goes from shit to shit in the handbasket to
yeah, but we're in like chapter 3. So.
That's like torture porn. I can't stand it.
Basically, he just does not have a good time.
But at least when he's in PlayStation All-Star Battle Royale, his biggest mortal enemy is Zeus from God of War, so it's all good.
So you're telling me he is like Danny Glover in the Lethal Weapon series. He's just like, I'm getting too old for this shit.
Pretty much. The whole game, he's just like, I hate this place.
Are you ready for the ultimate twist at the end of all of this series? No. He snaps out of it and realizes he's been in a locker the whole time making all of this up in order to save himself from the reality of his own death.
What? That would be a cool ending, but I think it would really kill the series.
And then the door just rips open as the alien gets him. Boom. End of the game.
For Dead Space?
Yeah.
For Dead Space, that'd be cool, but I think I'd be like, no. What about all the stuff that happened?
It didn't
I feel like that would
made it all up.
I feel like that would make people rage more than the ending of Lost or
Bob Newhart. Bob Newhart already did that, and they did it successfully. Let's just leave it. Leave that all behind with the waking up next to your original wife from the original series and shit. Everything's happy-go-lucky. I'm tired of that. If The Walking Dead goes that route, I'm going to be pissed.
Oh, they're not. Trust me.
They can't. They have to follow the comic book script.
Well, they already didn't because they killed off his son.
Yeah, I know. That's...
Wait, who owns this fox?
Well, hold on. Because according to the comic books, the entirety of The Walking Dead is actually caused by aliens in the comic books.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Aliens caused the zombie apocalypse to take over the world.
And look at Aaron doing the segue back into the conversation.
Oh! Okay, now get this. Robert Kirkman, the creator and writer of the series, he brought this zombie series to the comic books, and they didn't want to take it, right? Because, it's, what is this, like torture porn? We can't do this. We need some sort of, there has to be something like a light at the end of the tunnel. And Robert Kirkman's all like, all right, hold my beer. And he writes in this one Dream State comic where the series takes place on an alien ship, and everybody who has died up until that point in the series, that includes Glenn, and that includes, well, in the comics, I don't know who's dead, but I know Glenn is dead.
Glenn's on dead in the comics. Rick ends up with the bitch. What's her name? The blonde bitch.
Who hooked up with the governor in the series? Yeah. Anyways, so he writes this one-off comic to say that the aliens started the zombie apocalypse, and now Rick and his group have to go to the alien spaceship where they find Glenn and all of the dead characters that have been killed off in previous comics fighting the alien race to save planet Earth. And they end the comic as if it was a dream that Rick had, but everybody in his group remembers what happened.
So was it a dream or was it reality?
And that is how Robert Kirkman got the comic book or the people that produce it or publish his book to keep the series going.
Oh, for feck's sake.
I am not even kidding or lying about it. He's like, I need to appease them. Let me write this in here.
That sounds like that Flash crossover episode with like Legends of Tomorrow and.
Oh no!
Everything.
Trust me, Sally. In the comics, it's a lot more fucked up and stupid with how the Flash screws up everything.
Well, I know, but like how like they had that big crossover event, and then like the aliens like took everybody, and the heroes had to like fight on the ship, and that's like what it reminds.
Oh, that's like Tuesday in DC, and it's a Wednesday at Marvel. What happened this week? Aliens, bitch. That's what happened.
So.
What happened on Tuesday? DC got hit with aliens too.
Wait, isn't it DC that owns the rights to the Aliens comics?
I think it's like a open thing. Is it?
I thought it was DC.
DC does own.
They did a comic where I remember seeing it.
It was Batman vs Aliens.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh cool. And which is funny. I'm not a huge fan, you know, burn me at the stake, but that comic was great.
Wait,
I was like,
wait, Shweebes, did you just say you're not a Batman fan?
I'm not a DC fan.
Oh, I was about to say. I don't give a fuck about DC,
I like Batman.
I love Batman too.
And Superman, he can die and give me back my curl bitch because I had it first. I don't really care for the Flash because I find his character to just be a little.
He was only made to do the retcons because DC doesn't want to keep continuity. That's its biggest problem.
I have to say I enjoy the series on CW. I really do. I was never a big Flash fan.
Still not.
But I don't know how CW they did it with Smallville when it was the WB. Now it's the CW.
They know how to make an actually good Superman. You know, that's gonna be the next podcast. Why I prefer Smallville Superman over the others.
All right,
WB made a Superman where instead of being about him being Superman, it was about him and his relationship with Lois Lane and his life as Clark Kent. And his relationship with it was all based around him not being Superman the entire fucking movie. The entire TV series, still having all of his powers. It was just a matter of, instead of focusing on him as a hero, what is he outside of it? I think it was like Clark or something like that. It was actually one of the only Superman shows, with the exception of Smallville. I did enjoy a good portion of that. That I actually went, yeah, that is a Superman I am completely 100% okay with being.
Hey, when I was a kid, I liked watching Lois and Clark. I thought Terry Hatcher was hot, though, so that might be the reason.
Watch them as in you followed behind them while they made their long trip?
Not Lewis and Clark. Lois and Clark, fool.
Get here! Get here, you
Real Adventures
show.
of Superman.
I will say though, me with Batman, I'm like a fan of everybody but Batman. I like the villains, I like the setting. I just can't get into Batman himself, but I like everything else.
Really?
Are you talking like from a Gotham perspective or from the animated series?
In general, in general. I can never get into the character of Batman. I just can't get into it.
For me,
I love
Batman it is. Because there are some Batmans I'm like, ugh, he's kind of dull in this one, but the villains are amazing.
Yeah, the villains what get me
badass and on top of it, and I'm like, yes, that Batman. Can we have that Batman with these villains though? Because
now I have to ask the question because redirection. What is y'all's favorite space alien movie that's horror?
Oh yeah,
just that whole 360 spin.
Well, since we said earlier that we can count Serenity, I'm counting Serenity because that scared the crap out of me when I saw it. Because when you actually saw the Reavers, and I love Firefly, like you have to watch Firefly to understand Serenity, but like the movie was such a good wrap up and so terrifying.
To add to Sally's, I love at the end how the secret weapon. She's a military weapon.
Yep.
Through the whole series, you don't see that, but in the movie, you finally get to see her break and go on the full-on fucking Terminator mode and just destroy these things. Oh, so yes,
mine would have to be Predator.
Predator, that's a good one too. We didn't even talk about Predator.
I know, I was just waiting. And then we got sidetracked by DC and Marvel, so I was like, wait.
Well, let's talk about Predator. Predator's your favorite. Let's talk about it a little bit.
Something about the design of like the ultimate apex creature in space without the whole... He kind of looks like Lobo jokes that I hear from a lot of my friends that tend to do stuff with DC. So, when I was just watching the stuff involving Predator, I'm just like, so this is what many people imagine to be the most apex creature in all of space and throughout all of our current reality, to be the only creature that we should fear aside from the xenomorphs.
Oh, that's not even true. So, according
and I'm not saying it's supposed to be the exact thing at the time. I'm just saying when we were younger, before the Alien versus Predator stuff and the huge debate thing happened.
Well, according to Alien versus Predator, a quartering. The Predators created the Xenomorphs to wipe out everything at the end of their hunt.
Actually, the direct quote from the movie is they found this serpent in space.
Ah, okay, yes.
Bred it to do that.
And then anytime they failed or succeeded, they made sure to wipe them all out, and then they would start it again like every however many years.
Yeah, and humans have always been the predators, like apex
cattle
prey. Like when they wanted to hunt something, they came to Earth and they hunted us. And then when we overwhelmed them because there were just more of us than there were of them, they would release the xenomorphs to eliminate us, and then they would set off this giant bomb to eliminate the xenomorphs, which makes no sense. But yeah.
Wouldn't everything die in that case?
And then on top of that,
Shweeps, you're injecting logic. You know it's a bad thing.
Would it change your opinion of Predator at all, V, if I told you that Jean-Claude Van Damme was the original Predator?
Well, first I'd have to break you.
I am not even lying. Jean-Claude Van Damme was the original Predator in the Predator movie.
I didn't see that Predator doing any full body splits on chairs. Bullshit.
No. It never made it. Brent. He was so hard to work with, they fired him.
Oh.
You made me not say a word.
That would have been
split and then do more karate.
That would have been his first feature film, and he was supposed to be the actor in the Predator suit, because they wanted someone athletic who could...
I'm sorry, but he did have his own starring role in a very, 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 very forgotten film in the action hero genre back in the early days. It was called Red Scorpion.
Oh. Ooh, where'd he go?
Oh, Hobbs disappeared.
Oh, there he is.
What? I'm here. I haven't gone anywhere.
Alright, I was like, wait, where'd he go?
He had to quick.
Aliens.
Red Scorpion. I've heard of that movie.
Yeah.
I think I've seen it. There are very few Jean-Claude Van Damme movies I haven't seen.
But still, Predator.
But like this was his first feature, like his first international. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands right now.
Debut.
Very bigly, yes, bigly film.
Oh my God.
His bigly debut since he had the boo boo.
But yeah, he was the original actor that was supposed to portray the Predator. Anyways.
Shweebe Phoenix, add to the pile of favorite alien monsters in a space horror films.
Sure. Because including all the ones that I watched afterwards, I'd still have to say Sphere is my favorite because, one, it's a nostalgia trip for myself and my dad, and two...